Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another exciting episode of Lucious Showcase. I am Lucious T. Now, this week I'm playing a game that I'm very excited about. It's one of those weird sequels that's not like the original, and it's a Famicom game. I know. Surprisingly, it was hard to find one too. It's been a while. So anyways, let's get to the game. All 20 of you excited, and it is the title. Alright, let's check it out. So we're talking about Fire Emblem Gaiden on the Famicom. I really was looking forward to playing this, especially with Fire Emblem Echoes coming out this week. Thought what a perfect way to capitalize on all that by playing the original. So, this is Fire Emblem 2, and it definitely upholds the tradition of NES games going way off the deep end for the sequel. Much like Zelda 2, Castlevania 2, whatnot, Fire Emblem 2 takes the original's formula and tweaks it ever so slightly. Now, spoilers, I wasn't able to beat the game. Unfortunately, the ROM on this copy is bugged or something. Whenever I would save the game, it would save it, but then I'd turn off the system, I'd load the save, and then once I clicked load save, it promptly erased it. Now, I didn't find this out until I made it all the way to Chapter 2, and hadn't lost anyone, so more or less I couldn't finish the game, which, with Fire Emblem Echoes coming out, I guess that's not such a bad thing. I can play that game to the end, and we'll see. I'm still bummed, though, because I was having a great time. What they did in this is, traditionally, Fire Emblem is dialogue, map, battle, reconvene, level, character, whatever. Dialogue, map. And that's how it goes. Dialogue, map, dialogue. There's not much freedom in it. Awakening was the first one that I could think of where it actually gave you a hub world a la Final Fantasy Tactics where you could go back and grind your characters. Generally in Fire Emblem games, you're not allowed to grind. Path of Radiance you don't, Radiant Dawn you don't, Fate's Conquest you don't, but some of the other easier ones allow you to grind. Well, what Fire Emblem Gaiden does is you almost get a traditional RPG style control of your character in between fights. So you have control of your character, you go into a fight, which you can see on the map a la Mario style. You fight the battle, and then that clears out the area, and you can move back and forwards throughout the new areas. Now, sometimes there'll be a temple or a cave or something you can go and explore, and this is the big difference in Fire Emblem Gaiden, is that you can do this. So you can go into this cave at the beginning, and if you make it past the fight of the thieves, you get Silk. Silk being your first magic user, which magic users in this game are OP. Now, let's first and foremost, there's no gear. There's, for the most part, there's weapon collections you pick up, and then you can assign one item to one character. And that's about it. And in order to upgrade your units, you just have to go and pray in front of a shrine. You don't need a master seal, you don't need a special reagent, or anything. You just go in front of the shrine when you're allowed to be promoted, and you're instantly promoted to something. Whether it be a cavalier or a soldier, whatever. And then in these shrines, you have the ability to augment your character's abilities by either speed, power, whatever they're offering. Generally, they offer two different things, although I think in the first one they offer speed. And, I mean, this gets into the Fire Emblem methodology of it, because this is early. This is before they had the weapon triangle. This is before they had the screen that shows you what you would do. So you have to know how much power you have and then look at that enemy unit and see how much defense they have. Now, the other nice thing is that I think the AI isn't all there, so they're not always picking the smartest option. But I found this one very easy, or I just got very, very lucky. Because I made it all the way to Chapter 2 without losing anyone. And much like Radiant Dawn, this has chapters. There's 5 chapters. I only made it to Chapter 2 because I saved and turned the game off like an idiot and then erased it. But Chapter 1 you play as Alm. Chapter 2 you play as Celica. I didn't realize this turns out to be a trope they do in a lot of Fire Emblems, and some of the ones I haven't played yet they do this, like 4 and 5. So you start Chapter 2 as Celica, and I'm guessing they converge in Chapter 3, and then you have 4 and 5, and the game is over. But just the whole methodology of being able to... You can go into that cave and fight those thieves over and over again, and max out your levels, and then upgrade once you get to level 20, and then it's always suggested in Fire Emblem to level up your character to max level and then upgrade them because it makes them the most powerful version of them they can be. And this game has a lot of grinding it, which isn't typical for a lot of Fire Emblems. It has dungeon exploring. There's chests you unlock in maps. It doesn't seem like you recruit people on the battlefield. Generally, you get them once you defeat an enemy and then you go into the castle and it's like, oh, I'll join your team. And stuff like that. Enemies still do drop items every so often that you can then equip and use for yourself. But there's not much of an inventory system other than that. Your weapons don't break, they don't degrade, you just choose who gets what. Archers are overpowered as hell. They can attack anyone from a 3 squared thing, even people directly in front of them. So when I got my archer guy, I was having a field day with that guy. Now, I mentioned magic users earlier, so you get a priestess at first, and the way that they heal is they sacrifice 1 health of their own to build the health in someone else. And then in order to get their health back up, they have black magic called Nosferatu, which is familiar to people who played the game. It attacks the enemy and then heals them. So the magic users are your range and the archers, which gameplay-wise, love it. Game itself, great. And I'm very upset that I wasn't able to get further in this, although it's setting up to be an excellent game. And I don't know, much like Zelda 2, I'm liking it more than the original. I've played Shadow Dragon, which is the DS remake of the first one, and this one, this is good, and I'm very much looking forward to Echoes to think if they add in the triangle system and the ability to, I don't know, do I want to keep it where you only have 1 weapon, where like that? I'd like to see them keep that system and move and go on with it, because it's really fun. It's really fun. So yeah. Fire Emblem Gaiden, I can't really give it a score. I will try to revisit this once I can get that ROM issue fixed and beat the whole thing, but still, pick it up, play it. That's your homework. And there you have it, Fire Emblem Gaiden. Great game, pick it up. Alright guys, well that's all you get for this week. Now, I am an idiot. I did buy the special edition of this game as well as the regular edition of this game because I'm Fire Emblem crazy. And maybe one of these days I'll be able to play through the original. I don't know. But I'm very looking forward to it. If you like strategy games, this is a game that you gotta pick up. And also, Fire Emblem is great, so please support it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and remember, someone else's catchphrase. Like Rewind Mike. Keep it greasy.